Ladies and gentlemen, we're excited on this one here because he is back by popular demand, and he is the talk, figuratively and literally, of the wrestling world right now. Will he or won't we? He'll tell us why he will or won't in a few minutes, but he'll also talk about a number of places he's been all over the place over these past few weeks, and especially at one of our very good friends over at the TF Crew, where he wrestled a man that he put a syringe underneath his lip. He'll talk about that.
Three syringes to
Oh,
shut
I'm going to
that
get to
punk up.
that. I'm going to get to that, but he's also going to talk about a company that we're actually honoring in the entire month of February, where he's going to discuss a match where he's with two other men and one still to be announced. And oh, by the way, we're going to see him next weekend now against some dirty guy named Dirty Ron. We'll talk about. And then the big show on February the 25th, where Venom and GTS collide. We'll get into all of that here and some. Our guest needs no further introduction, but because he's freaking Jimmy Controversy, he's our hit sarge, he's our murder worshiper, he is the man that they'll never cancel, even though Facebook is trying.
Partner.
They'll try, but they'll never be able to do it. He's going to talk about everything in some and some in a bag of chips. It's time to give him that introduction that everybody else has gotten. He's gotten not once, but twice now. And it's Friday night, and we're celebrating our 5-year anniversary on Sportswire Radio, and we just hit over 500 subscribers. So it's time without further ado. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. He's the CEO of Pro Wrestling Venom. He's the hit sarge, the murder worshiper, the uncivilized champion. They call him straight up Sergeant Jimmy Controversy. The champ
Beautiful.
is here.
Hey, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Did you hear that, Anarchy? The champ is here, the uncivilized champion.
Oh, he's definitely here. And he's even here live right outside the Regal Rumble. We'll get into all of that.
Just got the Regal Rumble going on right now. You might want to check that out. You got myself, you got Grim, you got some old faces from GTS that I haven't seen in a long time return. You had Mikey Anarchy, of course, in there.
The man you're still battling with. Now you've got Angel Santiago on your side.
Hey, listen, Angel is a good dude. He's not going to be at the Regal Rumble, but he is going to be at the show the 25th.
And he's going to be here live on Sportswire Radio. Guess what? Breaking news. Angel's going to be here, our TF Crew champion. He is going to be here coming up 3 weeks from tomorrow. He's going to talk about all of that and some. He's got a lot to say. He's personally requested a microphone, so Angel Santiago is going to be here live, but it's not about Angel right now. Jimmy Controversy. I mean, what is going on here? I mean, obviously we saw you last in GTS. You defeated James Gray, but now we're going to see you also apparently next weekend all the way out there in California. JTG is going to be on the bill, and you're squaring off with Dirty Ron, and it's going to be
JTG is going to be there. Fist Combat. It's Sergeant Jimmy Controversy against Dirty Ron McDonald. Oh, my God.
A man that you see never get away from. Jimmy.
He is also, he also shares power of Pro Wrestling Venom, Dirty Ron.
Yes.
He is also the co-CEO. Some contract dispute went around between me and him. tired of working with these face painted clowns. I really hate them.
That's what you and clowns, Jimmy. It seems.
Dude, I have no idea. Clowns, face painted freaks. But like, so we did the casket match at Venomous Intentions, the first Pro Wrestling Venom like pay-per-view.
Yep.
And I thought I was done with him. You know, I thought he was done. I thought he was over. He was demanding all this money from me and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, you know, comes out of the casket, nails Grim. And then he says, you know, we're going to be partners. We're partners now. And I'm like, wait, what? So now he's just causing all this trouble with Pro Wrestling Venom and stuff. And, you know, there's a lot of behind the scenes, you know, a lot of that, you know, behind the scenes. I haven't uploaded an episode of Pro Wrestling Venom since last week, you know.
I was going to say, it's been about almost 2 weeks.
Well, the Regal Rumble's going on today. So I really don't want to take away from the Regal Rumble. With all due respect for Grim, we are filming at the CZW Dojo, thanks to me.
I did see that, by the way. CZW
I got that done. Not the original CZW Dojo. I don't know where that. That was actually across the street from the new place.
Yes.
What they called the compound, actually, too. And you know, I had so many fond memories there going to those shows. But yeah, we are. It's cold out. I don't want to be outside.
We're not going to keep you too long tonight because there's a lot to talk about in a short amount of time. We want to be respectful of your time, Jimmy. But, I mean, hopefully things work out for us because we do have a show. Speaking of Pro Wrestling Venom and GTS, apparently from a birdie, somebody was so kind enough to actually put on stage what you here.
Yes.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. GTS and Venom when worlds collide.
February 25th, when worlds collide, the first live show for Pro Wrestling Venom, and I think it's like the third with GTS. I know Grim attached his name, his GTS logo to you know, a few other brands like, you know, Cosplay Wrestling,
yes,
and SWF. But like, this was this is like the first time like him and I are running. This is the first time running with him solo, and he's running solo. Going to be a good show. You know, you got the Ultimo Champion on there, Jungle Jim. You have Tarzan Duran.
Faces. We see obviously Mr. Anarchy, Dirty Ron, Tarzan Duran.
Yeah, Dirty Ron is as much as I can't stand him. He's never, you know, besides he'll be there at XPW February 24th for a live and kicking, and I will be there as well. I'm bringing my boots, and you know, he's a rarity in New Jersey. You know, you could probably only see him at these two places in Jersey. He really doesn't come to the West Coast unless it's XPW business or Pro Wrestling Venom business. So
absolutely,
guys loyal to where he's at, so I'll give him that. You know.
I want to say hello to a couple of people here. First of all, I want to say hello to the IMF World Heavyweight Champion, Soldier GP, who just defeated one man, Aldi Ultra, who was trained by some guy named Seth Rollins. We've heard of him, right? And
yes,
he's got a big show. He's got a big show coming up, by the way, February the 17th. They're going to be in a 400-seat venue. You know, Jimmy, I know you're busy, man. You got a lot on your plate with GTS and Resurrection and XPW and everybody else that's out there you're going to be wrestling. But, you know, one day I would love to see you in the IMF because they've got a guy, apparently, Omen Black, who's this hardcore god. And, you know, he spoke about you briefly. And he's been speaking about people like Dustin Alexander, a man you squared off in the ring against. And
I got people talking about Dustin Alexander. Wow.
Yep, people are talking about him. People are talking about Mikey Anarchy. And this guy, Omen Black, works for the IMF. And he's a hardcore god. And he's mentioned you. And, you know, that might be a place, you know, in Iowa. You know, I know you maybe haven't been to Iowa recently, but, you know.
No, I went to a wrestling camp when I was wrestling in high school in Iowa, but I never wrestled in Iowa. Well,
you know what? You might want to check them out because they got a big following, too. IMF Wrestling 666 on YouTube. You know, Soldier's the champion. And, you know, maybe we can make some magic.
Oh, what's up, champ?
Yep, he's here, and also want to say hello to our buddy, our coach of Sportswire Radio, Mr. Chris Craven, is in the BWA Hall of Fame, out from the Mid-Atlantic area in our Hall of Fame, and he also says, "Bring a friend, come face the foundation." So he wants you to come out to his show and his company one day, and maybe there's a way. They're in 400 seat
Ooh,
and they're in a 400 seat venue, by the way. They're in 400 seat places, so they would love to have Jimmy Controversy. They know the following that you have. They're not worried about you being canceled on Facebook. Yep.
I appreciate that. Listen to me then, friend. God, I must have somebody like Angel who is in my corner right now. Part of the army of controversy. So you never know, man. Angel is a really good rising athlete.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Listen, he grew up watching GTS, but I brought him in. He's in way better shape than a lot of the folks that he grew up watching on GTS.
Oh, I spoke with Angel the other day, and I was like, "It's okay, Angel. Don't kick me on the air." I was
definitely bring a friend. I'll definitely talk to Angel about that.
I'd love to see that. Yeah, you guys. I know Angel wants to stay in warm Florida, but I think you guys going.
Yeah, he's flying up here for February 25th. Flying up here for the show.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about that. And
I want to stay in warm weather too, man. XPW's running Loco Wrestling, and they're doing XPW Goes Loco in Texas tomorrow night. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to miss out on that one because I just couldn't make that one, but it really sucks. My first XPW show I'm missing out on in like months. I've been with them for like a while now, but I'm going to. They just announced April 14th. It is that weekend. Baptized in Blood 4,
yep.
And we're returning to LA. Also. New Jersey, Hart Ballroom, XPW, Alive and Kicking. It was fake news going around that I was at the Hart Ballroom when another company was running, but I don't waste my time there unless
we don't pay attention to fake news here
unless
on the
XPW's there. I don't waste unless XPW's there, because let me tell you something. Nobody packs the place like XPW does there.
Well, we got a lot of people that want to say hello to you in a short amount of time. I want to say hello to Mr. Craven Rage. He says, hello, Jimmy. He'd love to see Omen Black and Jimmy Controversy because he's been ducking Omen Black for a year, so he wants somebody else to wrestle him.
Okay. Hey, you're saying he's hardcore, man. I'm the uncivilized champion, They don't just give belts like this to anyone, I know Mikey Anarchy's a little mad at me, still mad at me about that.
You guys are together in GTS, but Mikey wants no part of you. He wants
I don't want no part of him either, man. He's on Dirty Ron's page. Dirty Ron's.
I saw that, and I do want to get to Mr. Big Tex. He's the big man of.
He overpays my guys.
He's the big man of DBW, and he says, how's it going, Jimmy? No hardcore matches, regular wrestling match. Well, speaking of regular wrestling matches, real quick, by the way, speaking of plugs, I have to give you, I had received a message, by the way, earlier before we went on the air, that the legendary Jumpin' Dean Allmark, Dino himself, wishes you well. He's recovering from an injury, but he wanted me to tell you specifically. He gave me his full blessings. I could say this live on Sportswire Radio that he still wants a match with you later this year. Amazing. He's been watching you. He's keeping up to date, and he's a big fan of yours, and he wants to make that match happen still, and he wants to tell you good luck over the next month where you're going to be.
Dean Allmark. Listen, man, I'm flattered that you believe. I'm flattered that you see that you believe in me as a great performer. I'm flattered that you want to get in the ring with me and go one-on-one and square up. And 100%, man, get well. Injuries happen. The recovery and the comeback's going to be even better. I'll be waiting, man. I'll be waiting.
We're all waiting for that. And
I'll be waiting on the end of the road to recovery, man. Hopefully it ain't a long road, but we're gonna square up, definitely, Dean. We're gonna square up 100%, and I'll bring my A game, man. I'm honored.
No doubt about that. And real quick, for those that are out there, if you want to buy a ticket to the show with GTS and Venom when worlds collide, it'll be on the 25th. It'll be on a Sunday. It'll be 1 month from this Sunday at the Pine Grove Civic Association, 827 Jersey Avenue in Gloucester City, New Jersey. 08030. Doors open.
Day
1
after
o'clock.
XPW.
Yep. Bell time's 2 o'clock. Tickets are only $20. You can go to gtsvenom.eventbrite.com. I also want to say a couple of people tuned in. Jim Gelasico, fireman who was in the Gravesend Firehouse, who's out here on Staten Island now, was tuning in. Big fan of yours, apparently. My mother's tuned in out there somewhere, so I want to say to those people. So my Brooklyn and Staten Island people heard Jimmy Controversy, local guy coming on. We got to support him, so thank you for them to tune in. Want to say hello also to Mr. Steven Silvestri. I'm going to get to Soldier back in a second because we're going to plug Resurrection Wrestling, where I'm going to see you in the ring in a few minutes. We're going to plug that, and also Soldier wants to say we'd like to see you at his show coming up in July in Ohio, Summer Blash. Jimmy and a friend versus the Foundation. Soldier and Omen, and Jimmy.
Hit me up, Soldier.
Yep, definitely do that. Summer Bash is going to take place July 5th through the 7th. It's going to take place right after July 4th.
Foundation. Oh my God.
These guys are big, by the way. They're so big that they would literally take up the entire ring and how dominant they are. They've been all over the Midwest.
I've made a name for myself going toe-to-toe, blow for blow with bigger competitors.
I've been endorsing you throughout the entire month on Sportswire. I have been dropping your name like every day on the air, and I said, well, you wrestled Tommy Dreamer on multiple occasions, so good enough. That's all I need to know. But we got
not only Tommy Dreamer, but the late, great New Jack.
James Ellsworth, we've been in the ring with.
James Ellsworth.
It's been a long list of people.
Necro Butcher. Yep. Now we're getting big men. Bryant Woods. The suicidal beast, Bryant Woods. When he recovers, we're gonna do something. We're gonna square
Jim,
up again.
In the interest of time, we have our buddies in Resurrection here. I got a big plug because you got a big match here coming up, and we got that also posted right on the screen for us because Lockdown takes place February the 17th, and you got a big decision.
Lockdown.
You got a big decision there for you, Jim, because you might be the uncivilized champion, but is it to be or not to be? Because we know that you're going to be squaring off with A, Mikey Anarchy, B, Mac 10, and C, this unknown fourth participant. I mean, what's going on through your mind in this Cage of Hell Lockdown match? And I mean, what else do you want to say about that for the audience?
First of all, I want to get Mac 10 out of the way. Mac 10, I know you were on here. I came in. I literally jumped in when you came in, and you were sitting there like that with your little smirk on your face. I know you tried to play me and bring me in as an insurance policy. The last time you wanted me to take care of your work and your responsibility, which was Dustin Alexander.
Yep. In the toy box match.
And I did. And you inserted yourself into that match too. After that that weird conversation we had at Carnage Cup. And now, I decided I didn't want to be your right hand man. I wasn't being brought in for your insurance policy, bro. I know shows like Resurrection Pro, and I worked companies like that pioneered the formula that RPW runs on. But always keep in mind that GTS was built off of my back. Okay, table after table after table. GTS, where that formula, that wrestling show formula that worked for GTS is being used for places like RPW, places like TF Crew, places like, UWF, where I won the Uncivilized Championship, POR, it's innovative. And, Grim was the one who started that, but he started it by him and his brother Duop started it by beating me up. And so just remember, number one, Resurrection Pro, at the end of the day, Yeah. Probably inspired by GTS 100%, but it's also built off of my foundation. And I want to add that I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of carny characters like yourself that talk about insurance policies. There's no insurance policy in a fight. I mean, sometimes you sign a waiver. You know, a waiver to consent.
Yeah, we saw apparently this whole waiver NDA thing's been the big talk of the wrestling world. But I'm not going to go there, though, with that.
Mac, no one, and I mean no one, is helping you out. Okay? Now it's personal, and now you're locked in a cage with the most uncivilized human being you could possibly meet, okay? You're going to have to murder me before you get the victory on me, Mac. And I know wolves are vulnerable to silver bullets, but hey, sometimes I learned after going toe-to-toe with you, all I need is a silver fucking gusset plate to take your ass out.
Oh, well, we'll have to find out. And Mikey Anarchy's in the
now.
bill.
Yeah, that's another one. Anarchy, I know you're upset that I took something in your ranks that you built for 5 years. I get it. I get it, man. Look, I get it. There was a lot of you wrapped up in this championship and the company that it came from. Yes, I get it, man. But I had a career resurgence, and I had to do what I had to do to make that career resurgence happen. I had to, at 26 years old, think quick and think on instinct. And an opportunity for the Uncivilized Championship was right in front of me, and it was given to me by Pat McIntosh of UWF. So he talked me into it. He said, revive your career. Go for it. You have the potential. You're only 26 years old. So I did. I took the opportunity. You came in the ring wearing a damn DILF shirt thinking I was going to be some joke, Anarchy. And you were like, laughing about it until the bell rang. And then I attacked you the minute you got in that ring, even before the bell rang. The bell rang on my terms.
Well, we're going to certainly find out.
Then you come to Pro Wrestling Venom and air your grievances. And now all of a sudden you want another title shot. As soon as, not even day one Pro Wrestling Venom, as soon as I brought this to Pro Wrestling Venom with Pat McIntosh of New UWF's blessing. As soon as I brought this to Pro Wrestling Venom and the lump sum he gave me to continue to run Pro Wrestling Venom, there was Mikey Anarchy demanding a title shot. So I'm kind of caught between two things now. If I want to put the championship on the line, the 17th, I don't know if I can because, I got to hand it to Anarchy, him and Rad Dad are having this feud over the who's the real Intercontinental Champion.
And you've been in the middle of that feud also. What a surprise there.
Yeah. Rad Dad wanted to lock up with me and go square up with me.
He found out what happened there last weekend.
It was a fuck around and find out. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do at the end of the day, what's best for business. And it's not going to be a win-win situation. Whatever decision I make, I'm sorry, Mikey, you're not going to like it, kid.
Oh, well, you know what? This is why you want to support Resurrection Wrestling and watch this live February the 17th. Also, a number of different ways to support Resurrection Wrestling. You can do that on Instagram at Resurrection Pro Wrestling, YouTube and TikTok, Resurrection Wrestling. Join them. You can watch the show live if you're like me, not in the state of Tennessee. You can also support them on their brand new Patreon page. I was the first member to join the Resurrection Wrestling's Patreon page. Please
really
go out there
cool.
and support them. Also, redbubble.com. I've gone out there and supported them through merchandise. So anything we can do to support companies like RPW, please do so. Lockdown's going to be a Cage of Hell lockdown match between Jimmy Controversy, Mac 10, Mikey Anarchy, and a fourth participant to be named.
See, here's the thing. This fourth participant, man, like I'm not scared. I'm very just skeptical about this, you know.
Well, I asked Dustin Alexander last week if it was him, and
is this one of Mac 10's shady schemes? Is he up to his old tricks again?
I'm gonna have, I'm sure, a slew of stars on because next month's Resurrection Wrestling month. So I'm sure our assistant GM Steven Silvestri can get to the bottom of this. I do have some comments before I move on to a few other quick things.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get to the bottom of this because
Stone says he's followed you since the early days in GTS. You've come a long way from jobbing to the Graham and Duhop. I want to also say hello to Cameron Cage. Also, has been in Resurrection Wrestling and wants to know how you guys are doing. Cameron also was here last night, and Cameron just wrestled the man that you wrestled, also a part of Fallout, Dustin Alexander. He was on their last show, Elevation.
Shit.
So Cameron is here. He says hi. We hope to see him again. But, obviously, I also got to bring up TF Crew real quick. And what's the future there? You and Hardcore tussled, and unfortunately, Hardcore got the best of you. But maybe you got the last laugh because you did put syringes through his lips. So I guess
so here's the thing. So, well, that was a best trained practice as a sergeant. I had to silence his dumbass in the match, and I did. I found my resource. I had to resort to, unfortunately, using syringes. I'll put this out there. I'm not for the vaccine. As a matter of fact, I hate it. I'm against it.
I actually, to be honest, I never got it, so we were okay.
Good. This motherfucker had the syringes backstage. I'm like, syringes? Is he fucking crazy? Yeah, I'm not gonna, I'll be damned. So I grabbed him. I put him in my pocket, and then when the time was right, I'm like, yeah, you want to play with syringes? Go ahead, man. Mister. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, here's your vaccine. Here's your booster. And here's your other booster. All right, there you go. It's in your mouth. All right, great. And then, Will got involved. And this is what pisses me off with these total fucking chaos guys. Will, it's death match rules, you idiot. Of course he's gonna get hurt. I mean, Christ, I remember him on XPW against Chris Worthless.
Yep.
And his girl hit the ring. Will was disappointed he couldn't give him a contract because he didn't win that match. And then they surrounded my car, and Will laid behind my car until I agree to, at one point.
Well, you and Angel were like running for dear life after the match. I mean, you guys
this week or next week give this motherfucker a title shot. So a lot's on the line with that, man. A lot's on the line with the.
And I know you don't like the cold, and you guys were lucky to get out of there. I mean, everybody was surrounding you and Angel, and thankfully you got back safely out of the building there over in the north.
If I have this guy at the. Thank God I beat Rad Dad for the GTS yard because. I need to give Hardcore his uncivilized championship match, and I think he deserves it. And
we hope to get you back.
That was Dirty Ron, actually, by the way, calling me.
Well, I know we've only got X amount of time. I want to get to people real quick. We've got about 10 or 15 more minutes with Jimmy.
Right.
Jimmy's got to actually run here. I want to say hello to my buddy Matt Royale, all the way in England. I told you have fans in England. And he says, good evening, gents. And Matt's a great guy. Matt's been on the platform before. He says, hi, Jimmy. Used to watch you on GTS. Funniest character going. Loved it. So you know what? Maybe one day you and Matt Royale, a British champion, up-and-coming star. You never know. A lot of people in the UK, I told you had fans in the UK. That's why I told you who's trying to get that to happen for you. It's been yours truly.
Extreme Dean.
He's coming. I told you. Mr. Omen Black is here. He wants to say well to you. He wants to say well. So he knows who you are, and apparently he said something, and he wants to put it out there. So.
And the boogeyman of the Midwest wants to go toe-to-toe with the uncivilized.
And he's not Hollywood tight. I know, obviously, Atomic Titan, not too impressed with. I know you shared a locker room with him in Resurrection of Fallout. Hollywood Titan, with that crowd. But Omen Black's a very big man. But real quick, I just want to come back to our assistant GM in Resurrection. He wants to know what will you do to secure the win?
Like I said, fuck around and find out. It's a cage match. It's a steel cage match. It's one of my favorite match types. I love being in that cage. The last cage match I was in, I was victorious. All right. Well, you're going to be locked in.
He's the referee. He's going to be the referee in the match.
Okay. All right. Good.
He's not the fourth person. You don't have to worry about him as the fourth person, Mr. Controversy.
I was going to say, Mac 10 has been I couldn't get a hold of Mac 10 if I tried.
You know why you couldn't get a hold of him? Because he's probably drinking too much Mountain Dew. He's drunk on Mountain Dew right now.
How the do you get drunk on Mountain Dew?
Because he's Mac 10, that's why. Because every time Mac 10...
I like Jack Daniels. That's my go-to.
I could definitely see why. And Mr. Black also wants to tell you that, Jimmy, remember, me and you will face off sooner than later. Trust me.
I hope so.
He's got his hands full right now with Damian Saint right now at their next show. So he's going to have to get through Damian Saint, very respected pro wrestling star. I want to give a plug real quick before we move on to a few things.
I'll be observing that one.
A big fan of yours, by the way, is running a great show. It's a Fight for a Cure out in Pennsylvania, not too far. I know you're busy that day, but February the 24th, my guys, Brandon Caselli and Van Hansen, they're fighting for a great cause. It's for a young girl, and they're having a show they're putting on, and I wanted to give them a nice little plug because I promised I would give it to them. I want to also say hello to our buddy.
And I made sure you would. I like this. This is awesome, man.
Mr. Chase Wakefield's here. Chase is also going to be back on our platform Tuesday. He's a big fan of yours. He is going to be inducted into our Hall of Fame coming up Tuesday night, and he wanted to say hi. So, I know I've only got so much time, but Jimmy, I got something for you. Obviously, you're hearing about all these different people, and I know you obviously have your hands full in GTS, and obviously in Pro Wrestling Venom, and what happens in the future in TF Crew, and certainly Resurrection Wrestling. But, I wanted to do something for you for a change, Jimmy, because
I appreciate that.
I wanted to make it known that it would be recognized on this day on all of our platforms on Sportswire Radio, that it would be Jimmy Controversy Day. So it doesn't matter if you can cancel. It doesn't matter if they're saying this about you and that about you. I want it to be known as the host of the Sports Report, the owner of Sportswire Radio, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters, the Reverend Tom Bryce, whether it's on Twitter at Thomas Bryce.
Send me that.
I'm going to email it to you when we get off the air. I'm going to email it to you, and I'm going to also give you
I just screenshotted it. I'm going to send this in the Pro Wrestling Venom and GTS chat.
Good.
That January 26th is Jimmy Controversy Day.
That's right. That's right, Jimmy. I wanted to make this a special day. I told you.
I am going to show this to Rob Black, man.
Good. And you show it to him.
He will talk about this on his podcast.
Good. And tell him we would love to be mentioned on his podcast anytime.
The Rob Black Show.
Floor anytime. We are the man. We are the place. Listen, I am the voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters. Anybody is welcomed here on Sportswire Radio. I would love Mr. Black. I would love anybody. Listen, Jimmy, if you tell me to jump off the bridge, I'm jumping off the bridge for you, sir. If
you
got a problem with everybody else,
man, I'm more likely to survive.
You'll survive, but I would certainly take the bullet for you. You are Jimmy
No,
controversy.
man, no. Like, this
But
is amazing. Like,
Yep,
oh,
you,
hell yeah.
you earned it, Jimmy. Definitely everything for all you've done for us, everything you've done for this sport, everything that you've done in being the hit Sarge, the murder worshiper, everything that you've done for all the platforms you're on, whether it's GTS or XPW. I had to do this, Jimmy. I was surprising you. It was kind of like, you know what? Let me do something big because this will be remembered for a long time. This is a special day on Sportswire Radio. You've helped us celebrate our 5-year anniversary. I could not think of a better person to be on here with. I could not think of a bigger person and a better person to be with on a Friday night to talk about all things related to the world of wrestling. Yeah, that's it. I want people to follow Jimmy on all these platforms here. Instagram, Real Jimmy Controversy. YouTube, Jimmy Controversy. Twitter, Jimmy Controversy. Facebook, Sergeant Jimmy Controversy. I know you got to go run and kick some butt, but is there anything else you want to promote or tell us?
We got like 15 minutes left.
All right, so we got 15 minutes. All right, so you know what?
Yeah, like 10 minutes left,
All right, I'll give you 3 hours, but you're Jimmy Controversy, so I can't do that. But, Jimmy, so what are you going to do? You got all these hands in all these different places, and how are you going to be able to focus on all these? You got a big month ahead, Jimmy. I mean, you got next Saturday, you got 3 weekends from now at the Pro Wrestling Venom XPW, GTS show. You've got also Resurrection, which we're going to have a lot of coverage for.
Tunnel Vision. Tunnel Vision. You deal with the obstacles one by one head on. So, Dirty Ron, listen, I got one up on you on this one. There's no Dirty Ron Day. You might have been in a movie with Effie, with RVD.
I would remind you, Jimmy, I'm going to cut you off for a second because, Jimmy, I'm going to cut you off because actually you're on a platform where in the last 2 weeks, this is what Sportswire Radio has done in the last 2 weeks. Number one, we had the head coach of, let me repeat this, the United States Women's Amputee Soccer Team. Then last weekend, we just had on the first ever British fighter who fought in Dombey at the African Warriors Fighting Championship. They have 100,000 followers. Their last show had over 300,000 views. And this guy, Luke Leyland, who went out there and became the first ever person to participate, anybody in the world outside of Africa, he went out there and fought in Dombey at this Kings of Dombey event in Nigeria. That's the company that you've shared in the last 2 weeks. With all due respect to Dirty Ron and everybody else out there in GTS, I guarantee you that they could not be able to compete with what the company you've had here in the last 2.5 weeks. Let me repeat. Paige Palazzolo, head coach of the United States of America Women's Amputee Soccer Team. And on top of that, Luke Leyland, first ever British person, anybody outside of Africa to have fought in Dombey, African Warriors Fighting Championship.
You know a lot of people.
An old school version of boxing and UFC all into one. And that's the company you share with the last 2 weeks, Jimmy. So I think you're doing pretty good.
You know a hell of a lot of people, man.
You know what? Because it's about the community, and I know a lot. And we have a lot more people. In fact, next week we have also a guy that played in the college basketball Final Four going into our Hall of Fame, Danny Burns. That's the company you're with, Jimmy. So if you're feeling down, you're worried about Mikey Anarchy and everybody else, you come to Sportswire.
I'm not worried about them.
I want to give a very, very big shout out. By the way,
I've been quiet. I am in Facebook jail. For reasons unexplained, but I've been quiet. Quiet for a while, focusing on stuff. But silence isn't a sign of weakness; it's a sign of strength.
Absolutely.
I don't wake up. I don't wake up like in the morning and have this one person on my mind. Like Anarchy wakes up. I bet he wakes up and he goes, fucking hate that Jimmy Controversy. Oh, fuck that piece of shit.
Or he plays connect the dots with his back, with all the cuts on his back. You could play connect the dots with.
I don't sit down like Mac 10 does, looking like Mr. Burns from the.
No, I told you what he does, Jimmy. I told you what Mac 10 does.
Drinking Mountain Dew all day.
Fucking Mountain Dew. That's what I told you. That's it. That's the
point. Yeah, that ain't gonna do
it.
Mountain Dew. I'm sorry, dude.
But I want to say hello to somebody specially because we're gonna bring him on. I think either Sunday or during the week. Mr. Gabe Sayers, your buddy from the TF crew. Gabe awesome.
Sayers, man.
I would not be here without Gabe Sayers. Speaking to you, he said
ran a great show.
Yeah, I watched the show twice. Gabe is awesome. He's the man. I want to give him a big, big shout out, a big, big pound of the fist. He is the man. Thank you, Gabe, for all that you do. I want to make sure people
And
follow the TF
and
crew
there's
right
no
there.
doubt. And there's no doubt that TF Crew and Pro Wrestling Venom will collaborate in the future for potential future shows, man. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm going. You know, I know I'm with Grim now. We're on the road to Grimomania, but you know, I'm happy to honor the commitments. But you know, always post Mania is like an exciting time for wrestling. You never know the new, it's time to like take a new direction, turn other directions, do new things, and
turn the
go
beat
new
upside
directions.
around. That's turn the beat upside down to quote.
That will be, we're talking way down the road now. That will be Pro Wrestling Venom's case, post Grimomania, we post Mania, that will be Pro Wrestling Venom's case. We will be going in, a direction that I want to go in and my way, and it's going to be it's going to be certain types of wrestling isn't for everybody, but I'd always like to think it is. But
I think it is on Sportswire. We always say all wrestling matters here on Sportswire.
And
all
TF Crew, man. I mean, they had
guys.
all different kinds of wrestling. Gabe provided all genres of wrestling.
He had tag team wrestling.
That's what I like. That's what I like about TF Crew.
Me too.
Is the variety that he provided.
He's just a great guy. Gabe Sayers is one of those people that I would I would cut my arm off for a guy like Gabe Sayers. He is an awesome guy.
He the likes of Mike Fatality.
Yes.
UWF's Mike Fatality. They did whatever they can to provide all genres of wrestling,
Yeah, and I got to get to a couple because I know you only got so much time. Skulls the Snow
we got
Hunter.
4 or 5 minutes left.
Well, he wants to say that since you didn't agree to face me at TBW, he's got Dirty Ron instead. So he's got him in March, apparently.
Oh, shit.
Skulls. Yeah.
And where's that at?
California, in Southern California, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, San Diego.
Yes.
Skulls. Fist Combat in March. Probably.
He's friends with some other guys like Jarrell Diaz. I don't know if you know Jarrell. He was. I
didn't agree to face you, man. Bro, listen, man. I don't know where you think I haven't backed down from a challenge. Dude.
Well, I hope, Skulls, you aren't biting off more than you can chew, because you do realize you're speaking to Jimmy Controversy. This isn't
Skulls, let's go, man.
You're like when you're speaking to Craven Rage. You're speaking to Jimmy freaking Controversy, the one and only Jimmy Controversy. This is not like speaking to Donald Duck, not like speaking to Mickey Mouse. This is not like speaking to anybody else you might speak with.
Oh, Mikey Anarchy. Many reasons. Let's review many reasons why I want to destroy Jimmy Controversy. Mikey Anarchy is already bitching about the Rumble.
Well, I'm sure I'm going to see him before the 17th also. And Omen Black wants to congratulate the TF Crew guys. We're going to have Gabe on very, very soon. Also, Gabe would always have a spot in the IMF. Maybe you as well, Jimmy. Never say never. I want to say hello to our buddies in Ohio.
Man,
maybe they're looking to book you. I told you, Jimmy, everybody's come out for you. They want to book you in Ohio now. DKW, Dark Cryptic Wrestling. Dark Crime, the owner there, he would love to book you. I know Ohio's a little closer than some other places, so maybe that he could book you. You know what? I would say never say never. I mean, everybody wants you, Jimmy. Everybody loves Jimmy.
Ohio's good.
Everybody loves Jimmy freaking Controversy.
Ohio's a good 5-hour trip.
I always liked Ohio, by the way. I always liked Ohio. I always liked DKW. I always like everybody that's here today. I always like Skulls. I always liked Omen Black. And it's his show, by the way. He's in our Hall of Fame. And he says,
Skulls, you're it, man. Come to Venom.
You better message him, Skulls. If you don't do that,
me.
You're going nowhere, Skulls. And I want
IMF, man, definitely. IMF's got to hit me up, man. I'm definitely down.
I'll take care of that after we're off the air. And real quick, couple of places we're going to see Jimmy real quick before closing thoughts. February the 17th, absolutely a must. Resurrection Wrestling's lockdown show, Cage of Hell. It's going to be Sergeant Controversy. Will he put up the Uncivilized title? Stay tuned. Mikey Anarchy there. Also, Mac 10, the Mountain Drunk, and a fourth participant to be named later. Also, another big show coming up on the 25th in Gloucester City, New Jersey. Live pro wrestling when worlds collide.
That's right. Get your tickets, guys.
Those are the details right there. Also, TF Crew, go watch their show. It was just uploaded. Congratulations, Gabe, on that. They just are about to hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Make sure you support them. Also want to support my guy Van Hansen and Brandon Casilli for Amplified Wrestling, Fight for a Cure, fighting for a young girl out there. Please support them. Go to this show, then go to Jimmy's show, and also one more time, on this day on all Sportswire radio platforms, January 26th, whether it's Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Threads, SportsWireRadio.org, Tumblr. It is Jimmy Controversy Day.
Happy Jimmy Controversy Day.
Jimmy, you want to say anything? What else do you want to say? Any closing thoughts? What do you got?
No, I just want to wish my friends and my enemies a happy Jimmy Controversy Day. I want to wish Dirty Ron a happy Jimmy Controversy Day. I want to wish Mikey Anarchy a happy Jimmy Controversy Day. Mac 10. And, whomever else, Tarzan's going to be on the – listen, I love Tarzan. He's going to be on the show.
Oh, Tarzan's one of a kind. Yeah, Tarzan's one of a kind.
Venom show. And I want to wish, wish everybody out there a happy Jimmy Controversy Day. Amazing.
Amen to that. Listen, it's a special day. I couldn't think of a better way before we sign off and to continue to celebrate my 5-year anniversary and making it Jimmy Controversy.
At 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock tonight, I'm out of Facebook jail, so I'm definitely gonna wish everyone a happy Jimmy.
Oh, hell yes, and make sure you tag me on that. Thank you, Jimmy.
I will, definitely, yeah.
Platforms. I agree with you, Craven. Congratulations. We'll see about that, the 5th and the 7th. Jimmy will get more details. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jimmy Controversy. And one more time, is the host of the Sports Report, the owner of Sportswire Radio, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters, the Reverend Tom Bryce. On this day, January 26, 2024, it is officially recognized as Jimmy Controversy Day. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the post.
Thank you for having me, Reverend.
Uncivilized champion. Thank you so much, Jim. I know you got to run. Go kick some butt out there. And thank you so much to everybody that is tuned in. I'll be back here at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And Skulls will message you tonight. All great stuff there. Thank you, everybody. Jimmy has to run. I'll be back 10 o'clock Eastern time. So if you want to talk Royal Rumble, anything else wrestling, I'll be up all night. I'll talk to you till my voice basically can't talk anymore. But thank you, everybody. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. It is Jimmy Controversy Day. This is Jimmy the man himself. Thank you to all of my supporters out there who've got the Sportswire Radio to 500 plus subscribers and more. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one.
Right.